Welcome back, and now it's time for Met Report Sports, and we're joined on the desk with Peter Aragon.
Peter, it's been kind of a rough week.
It's been a rough week for the sports teams after a great start earlier on the season. Last weekend, little different story. We'll start with the volleyball team, where Mines and Metro came into the night both tied for second in the East Division of the RMAC, making this game even more important. This game had a lot of action, so let's get to it. Let's jump ahead to the third set with Metro and Mines tied at 1 set apiece. Metro was trying to come back into the set with this green hall kill. Mines, though, was too much and takes a third set, putting the runners in a huge hole, down 2 sets to 1. Fourth set, Mines takes a commanding 24-21 lead to force match point. But Bree Morley and the runners come roaring back to tie the set at 24s and would win the set with this Bree Morley kill. The crowd goes wild, so we go to a deciding 5th set where Metro was 0-2 on the season in 5th sets, trying to change out with some great defense from Greenhall and then the kill from Morley to give themselves a chance at match point. Once again, though, don't be shocked, Mines comes back to tie the game at 14-14, and in the end of this record-breaking match, Mines would get the service ace in between Morley and Heath to capture the final set and the match.
No, I mean, we were up 14-11. You should win at 14-11. And I think we probably had at least 2 or 3 other set points later in the match. I feel like we haven't been in that situation in the other 2. We didn't have a significant lead in the other 2. We did tonight. We didn't take care of it.
Metro will get back on track last night, defeating New Mexico Highlands in 3 straight sets. So, while the volleyball team seems to be struggling, our women's soccer team is rolling, having won their past 3 games. But they took on another team that was red hot as Carl Mesa came in unbeaten in their last 4 contests. The Roadrunners got to play this one at home, but before the game, Metro honored former defender Courtney Ryan as she decided to hang up the cleats and head back home to San Diego. On to the game, first half, Tess Hagenlock with a shot on goal, but Mesa keeper Sarah Schnetzler gets a hand on the ball, worst scoreless after 45 minutes of play. Into the second half, and it was all Mavericks. Danielle Salinas flicks the ball over Daniel Quigley's head for goal number 1. Then Darren Weiger nets her first goal of the year on the splash past Quigley. Mesa would add 1 more, and Metro drops only their second game of the year by a final of 3-0.
I thought that the first half we came out, had a couple good chances, didn't quite get the goals that we wanted, but then the second half we just were very sluggish, not a whole lot of energy. And I think once we got scored on, we just put us on our heels and we didn't really respond well.
The Roadrunners would fall 2-0 to number 9 Fort Lewis the following Sunday, but the team scored 2 goals in a span of 19 seconds to avoid the loss and earning the tie. Metro got back on the winning track, though, last Wednesday, defeating the Rangers 2-1 on a game-winning goal by Aubrey Fondy. And before the weekend started, the men's soccer team was on a roll themselves, winning their last 5 games. After a loss earlier in the weekend to number 1 Fort Lewis, Metro was looking to bounce back. On Sunday, Metro took on Carl Mesa Honoraria Field for some RMAC action. Metro would strike first in the game with a beautiful pass from Brandon Hughes to Scott Grody, who heads it in and, oh, come on, cameraman, keep up with the action, please. Gosh, Kevin. Well, at the end of the half, Metro would be called for a handball with Mesa on the attack, awarding them a penalty kick. And Mesa's Danny Molyneux would not miss his chance at the penalty kick, tying the game at 1 apiece. Both teams would go scoreless in the second half, and we go into overtime. And in overtime, Mesa gets a corner, and Jeremy Guerder puts it through the box, and AJ Marquez would come flying through with a cleanup goal and the Mesa win. Metro falls 2-1 to Mesa and 5-3 in the RMAC. The men earlier that weekend lost to Fort Lewis by a score of 1-0, and the struggles didn't stop at the weekend as Metro lost on Wednesday to Regis at home by a final of 3-2. Well, so much love goes out to our ranked volleyball and soccer teams, and rightfully so. But we cannot forget our cross-country team who is sprinting past the competition in their fall season. This past weekend, the Roadrunners hosted the Metro State Invitational at Washington Park. It was a little wet outside, but that's what cross country is all about, battling those elements and, of course, battling the nation's best at the invite. Ladies first and running unattached was Zena Flores, who finished 3rd overall. Ashley Reitman was the top Metro finisher in 4th place. The women's team had 3 of the top 4 collegiate finishers and would win the championship meet. Now for the men, who are ranked 15th in the nation, Iger Erickson running near the front for most of the race, but here comes teammate Carl Arnold III, who passes him on the last lap. Erickson comes right back and retakes the lead, but in the end, Arlo was a top collegiate finisher, leading his team to the men's meet championship. And a big congrats goes out to our cross-country squads. The men's team moved up to number 14 in the national rankings and will compete in the RMAC Championship on October 22nd, right here in Denver.
All right, thanks, Peter. Definitely a little bit of a rough week, but hopefully next week we can go back on that Metro winning streak and get right back up to par.
Yep, they'll need to if they want to make a run in the RMAC Championship.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again.